Divergent is officially out, which is really exciting. I hope some of you have had a chance to see it so far. Let me know what you guys think. So, a lot of critics have seen it so far, and they've kind of released some reviews, and some of them have been less than favorable, and if you guys watched my last video, you know that Divergent wasn't my favorite movie in the world, but it also wasn't my least favorite. Sometimes when you read a negative movie review for something that you're really passionate about, you're like, well, I can see where you're coming from, but I disagree, but I kind of see where you came from. And other times you see a negative review and you're just like, what the? Hopefully my reviews aren't like that. Sorry, guys. Hopefully you guys don't hate me by now. There was one review by the New York Post that a YouTuber, Xteen May, you might know her as Poland Banana Books, she tweeted about, and just, it ends talking about Stephanie Roth's books, which kind of shows you how credible that they are. I had a lot of issues with this review, and I'm going to focus on this specific review, but I think it's kind of a lot of what other reviews have been like, because I'm sick of this happening! The very first paragraph compares it to the Hunger Games because it's female-driven. Sorry? I don't think there are enough female-driven movies out there. Like, I'm not a hardcore burning bra feminist, but you look at the movie theaters and most of what you see are male leads. Okay, yes, both Divergent and the Hunger Games have female leads. That doesn't mean they're the same movie. That just means that they are not male lead movies. If we see another male lead movie coming out, is it going to be compared in the very first paragraph to a previous male lead movie? Ugh. Just because two movies have a female character lead doesn't make them the same movie. Now, we get to the second paragraph of this review, and it compares the choosing ceremony to Harry Potter's sorting ceremony, sorting hat. Yes, they're sorted into different groups. In Harry Potter, the hat picks. In Divergent, the people pick. All it is people going into groups. Now you look at Harry Potter and they're sorted into their houses. And that's different than being sorted into a faction. Their only similarity is that they are groups of people who share some of the same characteristics. In Harry Potter, you're allowed to fraternize or whatever outside of your little house. The house isn't permanent, it's just for while you're in school. Divergent, your faction is the rest of your life. You stay in your faction. You don't associate with people outside of your faction, not even your family members. They're different. I don't see a bunch of 11-year-olds cutting their hands over a lion's head or snake skin. You know what I mean? Just, it doesn't... Differences! You scroll through the review a little bit more and you see a lot of condescending tones like, we are so above this YA movie that is basically a mixture of Hunger Games and Harry Potter. You just get a lot of things talking about the costuming, which, okay, there are details. People aren't put in costumes just to look good. They're put in the costumes to signify things. Those costumes actually say a lot about the people. It's not just to look good. The reason the Dauntless have the best outfits is because they like to show off. They're going to wear that tight black because that's who they are. It's not so Shailene Woodley can look hot while she's kicking booty, you know? And then they compare, big shocker here guys, they compare For and Tris to Edward and Bella! Who's surprised at this originality? Come on, show hands. Yes, For is older than Tris. Yes, they have a bit of a forbidden relationship. But honestly, that's it. You see Edward and Bella, and it's this creepy old guy pretending to be a young guy, and they're students together, and the only thing keeping them apart is Edward's family. Don't mock me for my knowledge of Twilight, guys. I read the books when they came out, and I liked them then. Younger. But you look, For is Tris's teacher. Of course, they're not supposed to have a relationship. But it's a different kind of forbidden relationship than between Edward and Bella. I don't see any other YA books with a student-teacher relationship, in essence. It's completely different and a lot less creepy than I just made it sound. We go down a little bit more and it talks about Shailene Woodley and the Descendants, and again references Jennifer Lawrence in the Hunger Games. And then they talk about some of the other stars and things that they've done. And then it talks about the limited budget. And it talks about how the birds and the bird sequence just weren't really that scary. Okay, it's a simulation. It's not supposed to look perfect. It's not real life for her, it just kind of feels like real life. Ugh. Okay, and then it talks about how this civilization is so developed. They have mind control serums, but they haven't developed airplane systems or helped some of the other, like, wreckage get put up together. I'm gonna give the writer of this review the benefit of the doubt and say they obviously haven't read the books. When you think about it, no. They don't have airplane service because they try to keep everybody in. They haven't fixed up things because they don't have the materials. They're not allowed out of this little complex. Spoiler alert, if you haven't read Allegiant, I'm warning you right now. The only reason they have these serums is because they were given them when they started by these people who created this system. At the end of the review, they have fixed it so it says Veronica Roth. I wonder how long was Stephanie Roth for? Again, trying to compare it to Twilight, Stephanie Meyer, Veronica Roth. Different people! Kind of goes to show this reviewer is clumping all YA books together. And I don't think that's cool. That's not how you be an actual reviewer. An actual reviewer goes out there with an open mind and is like, okay, I'm going to take this movie for what it is, not what I feel like it's going to be. I definitely feel like most of that review could have been written before they sat down and watched the movie. And then when they watched the movie, they just tried to pick out things that would go with what their preconceived vision of what this movie would be. And just take a lot of these reviews with a grain of salt, guys. Trust my review, though. Critics on YA book to movie adaptations just need to take a chill pill, because no movie is completely original at this point. Every movie has little things that you could compare them to previous movies with. And if that's all your review is, oh, well, this part was like this, and this part was like this couple kissed, which is totally a ripoff of that couple's kiss, you're not going to have any reviews anymore. That's my take. Don't let these awful critics' reviews mess up our movie, because, come on, guys. Divergent is a great book. Doesn't matter what these New York Post critics say about it. We know that Divergent is amazing. Now maybe all of that amazingness wasn't transferred onto screen, but at least a little bit of it was. And it's definitely not The Hunger Games or Twilight or Harry Potter. And thank goodness it is not Percy Jackson. So again, tell me what you guys think. Are there any other really ridiculous movie reviews you've seen? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.